Welcome to the Transformational Soul Show with your host, Ruth Soltman. Are you ready to experience more stability in your life? You can change your life and be who you are meant to be, your authentic self.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Transformational Soul. My name is Ruth Soltman, and I want to welcome you wherever you are watching. If you are watching us live on Rumble, X, BitChute, YouTube, or if you are watching the replay or listening to the replay, it is available on many audio podcasts as well. Thank you so much for joining me and being here tonight. Hello, Carol Ann and Richard and Kavita. So glad you could be here. Please hit the like, the thumbs up button, whatever is there on the platform you're watching from. Please share the show information. And if you are here, please say hello like all these lovely people did in the comments. Thank you so much. I invite you to come over and check out my website, ruthsoltman.com. It's RUTH, S as in Sam, OL, T as in Tom, M as in Mary, A, N as in Nancy.com. You can go to my website and find out all about my books, my oracle cards, my services. I have many of my craft items on there. And there will be more in the future. If you haven't already, come over and join our Goldylocks Productions group on Telegram. It is by invitation only, and the link is available in the show, is posted in the show information. So if you haven't joined us already, come over there and check it out. A lot of us are on there, and we connect daily. It's really awesome. And if there's anything going on with the shows, whether it's a cancellation or this or that, it's posted there first. So you'll be the first to know. Don't forget that Goldylocks Productions has oracle cards. They're called Energize. And they have messages from all the show hosts on them. And also there is a merchandise store where you can get lots of Goldylocks Productions different items there, shirts, and there's different designs for the different shows, but there's just like a ton of stuff over there. So you guys check that out. If you feel moved to do so, you can give a tip or a donation via my Venmo or a Rumble rant on Rumble. Know that your tips and donations are graciously accepted and gratefully appreciated, because they really help to cover the cost of the show every month. So, that is so amazing. I want to wish a very happy birthday to everyone celebrating a birthday this week. I hope you have, or you're going to, enjoy your special day. And let's send out some love, light, and healing prayers and healing energy to Robin McGuire and her son, Carol Ann Carey's daughter, Carrie, and Carol Ann's sister, Jenny, Maureen, Brandon, Jamie, Heidi, William, Tommy, Josh, Harley, Patty, Sarah and her family, Jamie, Patricia, Melissa Parks and her family, Devin, Jill, Roy, Laura and her husband, Tiffany, George and their family, Carol, Susan, Bob, Joanne, and to all those who are in need or just need a little bit extra right now. And I know a lot of us do. A lot of us do. So while you're sending all that love and light and healing energy, send some to yourself. Send some to yourself. Remember to catch all of our shows Sundays through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. There's a show every night. Then there's a couple daytime shows. Now, those schedules vary a little bit. That's why I like to remind you guys about those. Laura has hers, Angels and Healing, like 2 Tuesdays a month at 4 p.m. Eastern. You just have to check to see which Tuesday she's having her show. What I did is I put an alarm on my phone for like 5 minutes before, and that way I will make sure I never miss it. Marsha Culver also has a new audio podcast, and if you guys haven't caught it yet, you really need to check it out. It's called The Mile, and it's an amazing show. It's on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern, which was today. And today, she was actually the special guest, and Tiffany was the one who asked her the interview questions. It was an amazing show. We learned lots and lots about Marsha that we didn't know. So check that out. And the other daytime show is Alep's Musical Life, which is Thursdays at 1 p.m. Eastern. She has been on a little break, and she will be returning on the 12th. The 12th. So check that out. And also, there is another daytime show on Thursdays as well at 4 p.m. Eastern, and that's Joanne Leo's Soul Coaching. Soul Coaching. So make sure you check those shows out tomorrow. If you haven't got to see Joanne's show yet, it's awesome. I've learned so much already, and I think tomorrow might be her third or fourth show. If you guys haven't become a Goldylocks VIP, please do that. For less than the price of a cup of coffee a month, like 1 cup a month, not a day, but a month, you could be a VIP. And there's a special VIP show once or twice a month. Thank you to all of those who joined us this past Saturday for the Spiritual Message Circle. There's only one for February, and it's scheduled for the 21st. So that's enough of the announcements and things I wanted to remember to tell everyone. So how is everybody doing? How's everybody doing? The temps are warming up here. We had some really cold weather for several days. Really super, super, super cold at night. I mean, we're in Texas, so some of us are not used to cold weather like that. Yes, I was raised in the Midwest, but that's the one thing I didn't like about living in the Midwest was the cold weather. But don't forget, spring is just around the corner. I mean, literally, no matter what the groundhog says, spring is just around the corner. I've seen something I've seen 2 of something in the last week that I have not seen for months and months and months. You might think, oh, it's probably like a robin redbreast, a sign of spring, or maybe it's a butterfly. No, it was a fly, those annoying flies. But I haven't seen any for months and months and months. And now it's getting to be that time of year when they're resurfacing. Hi, Devin. Nice to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well. Make sure I didn't miss anybody here. I think I did miss somebody here. Yes, we have missed you, Devin. That is so true. Okay, I guess I didn't. Oh, there we are. Okay, so I want to say welcome to Jill and Roy and Dottie and Patty. Welcome. So we still are continuing this massive energy. It's crazy how intense the energy really is. It goes from like way down here to way up here, like a roller coaster. It's all over the place. And we're all feeling it in our emotions. We're all feeling it in things that are coming up to the surface to be healed. We're feeling it all over the place. We're seeing issues with communication, maybe, verbal communication, maybe written communication. I wasn't thinking so much technical, but maybe people are having a lot of problems with that as well. But the energy has been really intense, and it's been affecting my body more and more and more. I can feel in my body that it's healing stuff. That's what it feels like. And it's just really odd to me how it shows up for me. Like, I know I was talking about how my knee was so swollen and like so painful for a couple of days. And this is from an old injury, 30 or 40 years ago. But I had injured both of my knees several times back, like when I was between the time of 17 and maybe 30. So there's a lot of healing that still needs to take place there. But it would get inflamed and it would hurt and ache for several days. So, I do some cold packs on it. I prop it up. I had I don't want to say like a knee brace. It's not like really a brace, but it's like a wraparound brace. And it would really help. It would help the pain because it would put pressure on it. And, then one day I just realized, wow, my knee's not hurting today. That's really cool. So the next day it would be something else. It would be, one day it was like the sciatic pain going from where it starts all the way down both legs, the back of both legs. That was a whole day. And I've had the neck tension. I have had weird little areas all over my body that I have injured at one time or another. And I think it's the healing that's taking place there. There was something from when I was a child that I can remember when I was like 10 years old, that it was a little injury type thing. And it came up the other day and I felt it healed and it's gone. And that was something that was in my back. I've sprained over, the course of my life. I've sprained probably both of my ankles and both of my wrists at different times. And I would get up one day and my wrist would feel like I just sprained it. You can't hold anything. It's really sore. It's all swollen. And I would just baby it for a day. And the next day it would be fine. And it hasn't bothered me since. Just really weird things. Last night, I had the strangest thing. I was just like moving my hands around. And when I went to bend my index finger, the pain was so excruciating that it made me dizzy for like 2 seconds. But it was like pain, like all in here. It wasn't like bone pain, but it felt like, I don't know if it was in the tendons, the muscle or whatever. And then I looked at my finger and I was comparing it with my other one on the other side, and it was all swollen. So I'm just like, babying it, doing some Reiki. I got up this morning and it's absolutely fine. So I've had all these little like twitchy things in my body and fever quite often, but I know that's burning stuff off, right? Burning and purging. Hi, Sarah. So happy you could be here. Sarah. So I know that's really working to burn off stuff that doesn't belong there anymore. The only time a fever really bothers me is if I get like chills, because that just makes it pretty miserable. So I was feeling pretty good when I went to bed last night. I went to bed early, like I'm going to get a really good night's sleep tonight. Slept for about an hour, and my dog woke me up to go outside. And when I came back, like all this stuff started flooding in my head, and I'm like, oh, crap. I'm not going to remember this in the morning. And they're saying, write it down, write it down, write it down. So I was up for like another hour writing down some stuff. And that's just sometimes how it goes. I know we've talked lately about life reviews and how a lot of us have been feeling that tugging, that nudging to do a life review. I know I sure have, and a lot of stuff has been coming up that I had forgotten about. So if you are one of those people who has been feeling that and has been doing it, how has it been going for you? I mean, really, has it been going for you? Has a lot of old stuff been coming up? Have you been remembering a lot of fond things that have happened over your life? Um, does it help you to see? Does it help you when you look back on these things and you reflect and you review, where you were maybe 5 years ago, 10 years ago, compared to where you are now and the progress that you have made? Does it help you to see why you are where you are right now? And does it help you to see how you got to this point? Because when we look back, when things are going on, we don't always have an open mind. We don't always have the correct perspective to see things the way they really are. But once we're through that and we look back on it, we have a much clearer perspective on things. Jill says, thanks for the healing energy. Roy and I are doing great. Today, poor Roy slipped and fell in our driveway and hurt his ankle. Oh, Roy. Well, we're going to send you tons of healing energy. So what clarity has it given you on past relationships? Because as we do these life reviews and we, look back at where we were at different points in our life, we were in different relationships, whether it was a romantic relationship, a friend relationship, a neighbor relationship, a coworker relationship, it doesn't matter. But now that we're further down the road, when we look back on those things, we can see them very clearly, and we can see them for what they truly were, a great life lesson. Does it upset you, when you look back on these things, does it upset you that you put up with a lot of crap from other people? You can't let that upset you. That was the person that you were then. Maybe you didn't know any better. Maybe you thought that's what relationships were supposed to be like because maybe that was the example that you grew up with. Or maybe you were just so desperate to be liked and loved that you overlooked way too much. Knowing what you know now, would you respond in the same manner to these situations or these people? Of course not. Of course not, because you are so much further along your path. You have learned so much since then. Carolyn says, I used to never cry, but some days I can't stop. Well, Carolyn, you are purging a lot of stuff. That's awesome to hear. I know you might not think so because it's not always a fun way to spend your day, but think of all that stuff that you are just purging and getting rid of. It's cleansing, very cleansing for your soul. And every once in a while, when we feel all that pressure from life build up, or when things might be bothering us more than normal, it can feel really good to have a good cry. It releases a lot of that pressure. It's a very cleansing and clearing feeling. So that's really good to hear. Let's see. So doing these life reviews, has this reflection shown you, has it helped you to remember the things that bring you joy? Joy is so important, right? And a lot of people, they might say, oh yeah, that was fun, or oh yeah, this, or oh yeah, that makes me happy. What brings you joy? When we're young, when we're little kids, there's so many things that would bring us joy, right? Going to the park would bring us a lot of joy. Getting a $5 bill, and depending on what generation you were born in, that $5 was a lot of money. Or riding in the front seat, that was always a big deal. That always would bring a child joy because you didn't get to do it very often. Those things were huge back then. Now, going to the park as an adult can still be fun, and it can bring up a lot of those fond memories of when you were a child. Like if you loved going down the slide, or if you like to swing, when you're doing that as an adult, it's going to bring back a lot of those joyful feelings and a lot of those fond memories. Carolyn says it takes as long as it takes. This review is agony, but it won't last forever. That's right. Kind of like grief, right? And we go through grief doing this because we release a lot of stuff. We have to let go of a lot of stuff. Carol Ann says, of course, I would rather purge the way that makes you lose weight. Yeah, wouldn't we all, Carol Ann? Wouldn't we all? Now, and so going to the park as an adult still brings me joy. I still get excited when if I find a $5 bill, or, if I'm maybe doing laundry and I stick my hand in a pocket of my jacket or shirt or pants or something and pull out money that I forgot I had. That's always exciting. So think of things that bring you joy. Think of more ways that you can implement joy in your life, because joy is so important. It's such a wonderful vibration. Joy is something we can share with others. Carolyn, you are too funny. You are just too funny. So, Carolyn said that Ruth is always the grown-up in the room. Love it. That is hilarious. Thank you for making me laugh today. So now this life review, is it giving you any closure on anything? On any old unhealed wounds? Maybe when you look back at some of these things, when you revisit them, you might find that you've already healed them. Or you might find that you just kind of shoved them under a rug somewhere, and now they're coming up again to be healed again. But those memories, they don't bring us pain anymore, or once they're healed, they're not going to bring us pain anymore. I can remember so many times running across a photo of my mom or my dad, and it would cause me so much pain and grief that I could not even look at the photos. Once I got through my grief and sadness, then, that it was okay. I love looking at the old photos now, remembering what was going on in the photos. But at that time, it was just too painful. We keep our loved ones alive within us by remembering them, by sharing stories about them with other people. So the more we do that, the more we can feel their presence. Another thing that I've been experiencing going through my life review is, has it helped you remember dreams that have laid dormant in for years? Maybe a dream you had when you were young. Well, when I grow up, I want to blah, 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 blah. Did you ever do that? Sometimes there could be so much scar tissue from life that we can't see what was originally there. Maybe we don't remember. You may have had dreams you wanted to chase with your significant other, and maybe you're no longer with them. So did you just let that dream die because you didn't want to do it yourself? You didn't want to do it on your own? Maybe you were laughed at or ridiculed when you verbalized the dreams you had or the things you wanted to do. And now when you do that, you're letting other people dictate your life. If you don't follow that dream because of what other people say, you're totally letting them dictate your life and letting them decide what is best for you. And whose fault is that? That's yours, right? That's ours. If you were a child, that's one thing for your parents to tell you, no, you're not going to do that, because maybe it's something dangerous. But as an adult, it is, as an adult, we get to decide. We get to dictate what we want our life to be. We get to decide what is best for us. No one else, just us. Hi, Pooja. Pooja. Okay, let me write these down. Now, when you look back, though, it's really important not to just focus on negative memories or negative situations, when you recall them. If they're not healed, heal them and just send them on their merry way. If you're ready to do that, which hopefully you are, because you're going to feel so much better when you do. But don't stay in that place of negativity. Good night, Richard. Have a great night at work. If you focus on that negativity, it's only going to work to bring you more negativity now and into the future. So we have to rise above that. We have to rise way above that. Look at those situations. See the lesson that was there for you to learn. We can't always see it when we're going through it. When we're right in the middle of it, of a situation, we can't always see the whole truth. We don't look at it, things from every angle and try to see different perspectives, because we just, we focus on our own. But many times when we look back, we can see it all clearly. Then we can understand why things happened the way they did and how it was all for our best and highest good. A rocky relationship can shine a light, a big, beautiful, bright light on the things that are important to us in a relationship. Can you truly understand, the importance of honesty if you have never been lied to? Think about that. Can you realize the importance of trust if yours has never been broken? We are given the experiences and lessons that we are given so that we can learn and we can grow and we can evolve as spiritual beings living in our human bodies. Now that you have went back and revisited some of these old areas, what does the future look like for you? If you're clearing some of that other stuff out, maybe you're looking at, wow, I had a dream of doing this and I never did that. Maybe you see that in your future. I'm not saying to live in the future. We have to be present and live in the moment, but we can plan, right? We can plan on and set goals, but we still have to be in the here and now and not living in that other place in the future. But the exciting thing is that we get to decide for ourselves. We get to create our future. We get to manifest everything that we want. Everything that we desire in life, we can manifest for ourselves. We can create it and we can live it. Now, if you haven't already, start focusing on some of those things that you want to bring into your life. The fire horse energy is on the way. Everything that has felt stagnant is now moving forward. So we might have felt like we've been stuck for a while, like we're, riding one of those exercise bikes, a stationary bike. We're just pedaling and pedaling and pedaling, but we're not going anywhere. We're staying stuck, kind of like we're wearing cement shoes or something. But no matter how hard we try, we're not getting anywhere. That's all about to change. With this new energy, this new fire horse energy, everything's going to be moving forward quickly. It's all about movement, and it's all about passion and fire and just delving into all of those things that you want to do. Now, I want to share something with you that I saw on social media, and it popped up in my reels, I think over the weekend maybe, or last week. I don't know if I can find it now. Oh, there it is. And when I read it, I kind of went, whoa, wow, this is really kind of making me get a different perspective. Then when I was looking for it today and I read it again, um, it sounded a little bit different to me. Hello, Linnell. Linnell says, I'm so thankful for the last Leo moon and fire horse. Syncing up feels so much nicer. It does. Linnell is here. So this was posted on Facebook, I believe, by someone named Michelle Erickson. I don't believe I know who that is. And this is what it says. It says, and the Joker said, when we understand that each day isn't one more day, but one less day, we'll start giving more value to the things that truly matter. Now, some people who, might be kind of negative might look at that and say, well, isn't it kind of like the glass half full, half full or half empty? And, which the half full sounds more positive than the half empty, right? But what really hit me with this is, we're always saying that one more day, but every day that we live, we are living, we have one less day. So the whole thing that hit me about this is we always think we have so much time to do the stuff that we want to do. I remember when my mom was, in her last probably couple months, and we're sitting there having coffee, and she said to me, she goes, I just always thought I would have more time. And none of us know how much time we have. Not one of us. So don't put off things till tomorrow that you can do today. Hello, Samir. Oh, well, thank you. So don't put off things, don't think of it as that I always have tomorrow to do it, because we don't always have tomorrow. But we just don't know when that's going to change for ourselves or for anyone else. So we have to focus on what we want, what we desire. Doesn't matter, we put that energy out there, and it might be something that you're thinking to yourself, there's no way this could happen. How could this come to me? I don't understand. Well, first of all, if you put out the energy of this is never going to happen, it's not going to happen. You can't put out that kind of energy. But once you get in that frequency of abundance, it's going to happen. You don't have to worry about how it's going to happen, when exactly, what the circumstances will be. It might happen a little bit different than what you're thinking, but put out that energy, put out that focus and that intention of exactly what you want, and just watch the universe bring it to you. It's going to be fast. And, it might show up a little differently than you think it's going to, but that's okay. Have an open mind. Don't limit yourself. Don't limit your intentions. Don't limit your desires. Don't say, I want a new car. Don't focus on a new car, and then you get a blue car. Maybe blue, you hate that color. So focus specifically on what it is you desire. That's what it really takes, that intention, that clear focus, and get rid of any doubts. Just know it's going to happen. Know that it's coming, and watch it happen. Watch your whole life change when you trust 100%. Trust in that everything is coming to you just as it's supposed to. Trust your intuition. Trust the information that you're receiving. Trust, trust, trust. Hello, Laura. Nice to see you. Okay. I am going to give some messages, and I'm going to read off the names that I have on the list. I've been trying to write them down as you guys have been coming in. So if I missed anybody, please, please, please let me know. I have Carol Ann, Richard, Kavita, Devin, Jill, Roy, Dottie, Patty, Sarah, Pooja, Linnell, Samir, and Laura. So if I missed anyone, please let me know. But first, I do want to pull a card for the group. And it's the number 16, which could be a 7 or a 61, however you want to look at it. And it says, go inward. This is what we've been doing with this life review. It says it is time to connect with your inner child. You know, our inner child can teach us so much. So much. One of the things that I've been reflecting on in my life review was what I was like as a child. And I know when I was a younger child, like, I don't remember being like disrespectful to my parents. I don't remember, fighting with my siblings a lot. I was a very quiet child. And there weren't very many kids around for me to play with other than my brother, who didn't come along for 2.5 years, and then my sister, who was 6 years younger than me. No neighbor kids that were like my age. No little cousins close by. So I think I must have just, played a lot on my own. I did find out, probably, and it's so funny because I had asked my mom about this several times if I had a, an invisible friend or whatever when I was a kid. And she told me no. But I could clearly remember, and probably 6 months before she left this earth, we were talking about it again. And she said, oh yeah, you did. And I said, I told you, I've asked you this so many times, over the past like 10 or 20 years. And this is the first time you told me yes. She just didn't want to talk about it. That's why she would just tell me no. So I wouldn't ask anymore, which is not very cool because I'm not about, not telling truths or just half truths. So that's why I feel like I did spend a lot of time, by myself as a kid. But that's something that's been coming up. Okay, Carol Ann. Let's see what we have for you. You got the number 6, become aware. Listen to the wisdom of the body. And look at this wild animal here. Listen to the wisdom of your body. Your body will tell you what it wants. We just don't always like to tune into it because it doesn't usually tell us what we want to hear, right? Oh, you don't want those barbecue chips that are over there? I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to go eat the chips. But our body will always tell us, and how many times have you gotten food cravings, right? We all get food cravings. One thing I used to crave a lot was salad, lettuce, just lettuce even by itself. And then I came to realize that the lettuce was like huge percentage water, and it was actually water that my body was craving. But it was coming to me as eat some lettuce. That our bodies will tell us so many different things if we just listen and pay attention. And that really helps things to kind of go with the flow. Because when we fight against what our body tells us, we kind of suffer at our own hands. If your body is telling you, oh, I'm so tired, I need some sleep, and you stay up all night, you're not listening to your body, and now your body's exhausted, and, that's not good. So we really need to tune in and listen to our bodies. Let it tell you what it needs and what it wants. Okay, Richard. Let's see what we have for Richard. Number 40, Richard. You are worthy. You are worth it all, my love. You are worth it all. A lot of people have issues with their own self-worth. Where does this come from? I know sometimes it can be, that's the way you were raised. You were put down all the time or told you don't deserve that. But that's one thing that, I've always questioned that. Self-worth, where does that actually come from? We have to know that we are worthy. We have to know that we are worthy of love, that we are worthy of all the good that is coming to us, of all the good that is waiting out there for us. And we have to believe that. So if anyone, anywhere along your path has told you or made you feel less than, or that you are not worthy, they're wrong. They're absolutely wrong. We know our truth. We need to not listen to other people's version of our truth because they don't know. And from the sounds of it, they're acting like that, they probably don't know their own truth. So know that you are worthy, Richard. You are worthy of all that you want to do and be. Okay, Sarah. It is never truly the end, Sarah. Number 19. It says, beloved, in this, everything will be okay. Everything will be okay. Everything is working out for you. It might kind of not feel like it, in every moment, but it really is. And every little step is just a piece of the puzzle for you. And everything is going to be okay, and everything is going to work out. I know, we all have challenging times, difficult situations that we have to work our way through or find our way through. And you are doing that. You are absolutely doing that. So don't get discouraged. Don't get down on yourself. You are perfect. You are a masterpiece. You are a work in progress. And we can be a work in progress and a masterpiece at the same time. Absolutely, at the same time. Puja. Puja, number 28. So it could be 10, 1. Review your responsibilities. Not all responsibilities are ours to hold. Let go of what isn't yours, Puja. Let go of what isn't yours. What can you hand off to somebody else, or what can you hand back to somebody else? Maybe you've taken on some responsibilities of other people. Give them back. They're not yours. You don't need them. A lot of times we think we're really helping someone else by doing things for them. However, it's not really the case, because we're keeping them from learning a lesson or figuring out how to think for themselves. So the things that are your responsibility, take care of those for yourself and others. But don't take on other people's stuff. Not at all. I can remember when I was younger, there was this person who, he was a young man, and his mom did a lot of stuff for him, like laundry. And we were talking, like, when I say a young man, he was probably like, I don't know, 16, 17. And his mom did his laundry and cooked for him and stuff. And he never really didn't learn how to do a lot of that stuff for himself. And he started having to, fix his own lunch and stuff. So, he'd open up a can of soup or chili or whatever. And he did not know how to use a can opener because he had never had to. Somebody always did it for him. That might seem like something really small, but, think about that on a larger scale. If he had been living by himself, he may have starved. But you know what I mean? We can't learn, and this is a hard one sometimes with children, with young children, because we want them to learn how to do things for themselves. But when they're first learning, they take forever. It's like a sloth fest, right? Because they are so slow. And a lot of times we'll be like, we just want to do it for them because we don't have 2 hours to tie a shoe or whatever it might be. But if they never learn that for themselves, they need to learn things for themselves. They need to be able to think for themselves. You're welcome, Carol Ann. You're welcome, Sarah. Sarah says, I've been trying to find a place to move, so that gives me a sign of relief. Oh, good. I'm glad. And you will find something. Dottie. Dottie, it's time to celebrate. The number 20. Cultivate an air of celebration today. We can celebrate everything. My grandma used to have china that was only used on holidays, only on holidays. Well, over the years from not being used, that stuff was, you think it'd be like, in the most beautiful condition, but it wasn't anymore. From sitting and not being used, just like you don't use your car, you park it and let it sit for a year. You got a whole lot of things going on now, from it sitting and things starting to deteriorate. So, I don't even remember what I was telling you. Ugh. So celebrate. That's what it was. Celebrate. So don't save things like that for, just for Christmas or for Thanksgiving, but use them. Use the things that that are for special times. Celebrate something every day. Celebrate you. Celebrate you. You're very welcome, Pooja. It's not just the big things in life that we should celebrate. We should celebrate everything. Okay, Samir. Seek guidance in this. Number 31. Number 31. And it says, it is time for a different perspective. So sometimes I feel like maybe you're looking at a situation and you kind of overthink it, overanalyze it, but you still keep coming up with the same results. You need to look at it from a different angle, from a different perspective. Look at it from outside of the situation. I know that can be a difficult thing to do sometimes, but if it's something involving another person, put yourself in their shoes. See what it looks like from where they are standing. A lot of times that can really help us to um, understand people better and situations better. Okay, Pooja, I did you. Okay, I didn't cross your name off. And who's that? Okay, Richard, Caroline, Sarah, Dottie, and Samir. So when you look at it from a different perspective, a lot of times you're going to see it something more clearly, or you're going to learn a little bit more about the situation. Because we can both look at this one thing, and both of us see something different because we're coming from our own personal perspectives. So that's why it's important to be able to see it from the other person's viewpoint. You're welcome. You're welcome, Samir. Okay, Jill. Oh, Devin. Jill. It says set boundaries, number 32. So that could be a 5. Claim your power and know your value today. Claim your power and know your value today. So I feel like this is something that maybe, is more from childhood, where maybe you felt like you couldn't speak your mind or stand up for yourself, or maybe you were just kind of like, I can remember being told children should be seen and not heard. I don't know. Like, I was really young when I heard that, so I don't know if that was somebody that was joking or if that was something someone really meant. But that stuck in my head. That stuck in my head. So many, children are like sponges. They absorb everything. They stay here. Everything. I've often read that children do not listen to what you say, but they watch what you do. So, but they absorb all of it. You could have heard something that stuck in the back of your mind and kind of changed how the way that you felt about yourself, even though the thing that you heard was nothing about you. It's really crazy how things like that happen, because I can remember different things when I was a kid that I heard. And when you're a child, you take things very literally. You don't know when someone's saying something figuratively, you don't know what that means. You just hear the words that they are saying and take them at face value. And so if you have some healing to do from situations like that as a child, Jill, then do that, because I think it's really going to help you to see yourself in a little bit different light. Okay, Devin. Today is the day, number 36. So that could be a 9. See how good I am at math. It is time to begin the journey. It's time to begin the journey. So what is this new journey that you are embarking on? Wow, I totally lost place here of where I was. That was Jill. So this one was Devin, I believe. So today is the day. It is time to begin the journey. So what kind of a journey are you beginning? Dottie says, great show. Awesome message. Thank you. Hugs all. Blessings. Thank you very much, Dottie. And thank you so much for being here. So I don't know if this is an inner journey, Devin, or if this is something, on the outside. But if it's something that you've been thinking about doing and starting, this is the time. This is absolutely the time. Okay. Okay. But now, whoops. Well, that card jumped right out for you, Linnell. Emotions are the reflection. Number 12. Emotions are the reflection. Look for the deeper meaning. And there's always a deeper meaning to everything. Now, looking for the deeper meaning, that doesn't mean, over analyzing a situation, because we have to look at it from kind of a higher perspective to see the deeper meaning, if that makes sense to you. Hopefully it does. But yeah, find the deeper meaning in the situation, find the deeper meaning in the song, whatever it may be. But find the deeper meaning through your heart, not through your head. Feel it instead of thinking it. Roy. Okay, number 43 or 7. You do not have to go it alone. Definitely not. You got Jill right there by your side. Reach out for support in this time. Now, maybe this has something to do with your ankle. If you need help getting around, don't be afraid to ask for it. Or it could be something, much different. But only you would know that. So you don't have to do it by yourself. You don't have to go it alone. You've got, all you have to do is ask for assistance, whether it's from someone in human form or someone from the other side. All you have to do is ask. Patty. Let it go, Patty, number 23. And I believe I got this card for you before. Might not have been the same deck. Linnell says, allowing those goosebumps I am. Thanks, you are welcome. And Patty, it says, let go of all that no longer serves you. And I feel like you are doing so much of this. I feel like you are doing a lot of purging, a lot of healing, a lot of self-reflection. And, just going to start seeing all the results of all that work. Jill says, great card. Thanks. You are spot on. Awesome. Thanks, Jill. So that was Patty. So keep doing that. Keep doing that healing. Keep, make your focus to be a better person today than you were yesterday. And I don't mean that you're not a good person, but I mean, we can always improve on ourselves, right? Don't compare ourselves to anyone else. We're just competing with ourselves, I guess. Kavita. Number 43, you do not have to go it alone. Reach out for support in this time. So first know that you're not alone, and then know that you can ask for help. You can ask for help from anyone on this side or the other side. They're all just waiting there, waiting for you to ask. So whatever your situation, Kavita, know that you don't have to do it alone, that there's support all around you. Laura. Number 38, you are enough. You do not have to give more. You are enough. I love that card. And you are absolutely, you're more than enough. I know a lot of times we put so much pressure on ourselves, that we want to do this way and make it perfect. We want to do that, and we want to be able to fulfill this and fulfill that. And then we feel like a failure. But no. And then we think that we're not enough, that we need to do more. No. You are more than enough. You spread your love everywhere, Laura. You help all the people and the animals that you can. So don't ever feel like you're not enough. Tiffany, you can do hard things. Number 41 or 5. You can do hard things. It is not as impossible as it may feel. Well, sometimes we do feel like we're up against things that are immobile, right? And we feel like we're never going to get past it or through it, but we always do. We always do. So, if you may be feeling that a little bit, it's only temporary. It's only temporary. Well, I want to thank everyone for being here. Get prepared for that fire horse. I'm telling you, it's going to be powerful. It's going to be powerful. And I'm very excited and I can't wait. Oh, good, Laura. Thank you. I want to thank everyone for being here. You guys are awesome. Thank you for sharing your love and your light and your energy. And have a wonderful week. And I will see you next week. I love you all. Good night, everybody.